Hey guys, Darby here with Meme Coins Daily, and welcome back to the Meme Coin Fast Track training, where I'm going to be fast tracking you to making $100 a day or more with meme coins. Now, for those of you who have seen the first video, welcome back. Today is going to be an interesting video. I hope you've done your homework, right? So that you can follow along because we're going to continue from where we stopped. Now, for those of you who are joining for the first time, I'd like to say welcome. You're welcome. You will need to go back and watch the first video because I said some really important things in there. And I also showed step by step how to set everything up. Okay. And I also gave some homework. So you definitely want to go back and watch that first video. Okay. Before you come back and watch. If not, you're just going to get confused. I'm going to have a link in the description. It's going to be to a playlist. So you can just go check out that playlist and you should see the first part in there. In today's lesson, we're going to cover how to identify scams, rogues, bundles, just anything that would make you lose your money. That's what I'm going to be teaching you how to avoid. This training is all about making $100 a day or more. It's the meme coin fast track training. I want you guys to succeed. That's what I want. I want you to make money, not lose money. So if I don't cover this first before showing you guys the good coins, then you're just going to end up losing money. Okay, so this training is really important. I'm sure you can see the screen right now. There's just so much going. Don't worry. Most of it are all scams and rogues. We're going to filter it out and I'll show you the little ones that still get their way in, that still come through our filters. I'm going to show you how to identify them, okay? So that you can avoid them like the plague and keep your money and instead make some money. So definitely lock in and let's get started with the training. Now, if you remember where we stopped in the last video, we had just created the Axiom account and we had transferred one Solana into our wallet that we can use to start trading. Okay, but we're not going to start trading yet, as I said. Instead, I'm going to be showing you how to avoid scams and rogues and how to just clear this up. Because this page you see here, right? If you go pulse here, this page, this is where we're going to be spending most of our time. So you don't need to worry about all the other tabs. I will talk about them a bit later, but now in this video specifically, since this is where we're going to be spending most of our time, I want to just talk you through what's going on here, okay? Now, this is the first tab. This is called the new pairs tab. And this is where the newly created coins come. You can see them from the different protocols like PumpFun, where they are created. This is where they launch. So you can see literally every second there is a new coin. Okay, there's a new coin. Now, on the final stretch tab, these are coins that have moved over from here and have made it, have reached some type of a market cap, and they're now here. Okay, they've moved over to the final stretch, and this is where you're going to find the coins. So most of the coins on this new pairs tab will never ever reach this final stretch tab because most of them are just scams. Nobody buys them and they just go to zero really. And then the migrated, right? The migrated tab right here is the coins when they reach a certain market cap, okay? And you can see it here, it's called the bonding curve. You can see the migration price here, which is 35K. This is for pump fund coins anyways, but you can usually see it here. Just see where my mouse is, right? You see 35K. So when they reach a market cap of 35K, they will move over to the migrated. Now that is the goal for every coin, to reach migration, to migrate, go into the wider market where more traders can trade it. Okay, that is the migrated tab. So we are going to be spending our time here, okay, in this on this screen, this pulse screen. So what we're going to do now is we're going to tidy it up because right now there's just too much going on. Now, as I said, this first tab here is the newly created coins, newly brand new. There's too much going on here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to turn it off. Trust me, you don't need it. You don't need it. I'm sure you're going to see videos out there with the really good traders telling you, oh, leave this screen, leave it there. You know, they want to see everything. Trust me, you don't need it because it's going to come here anyways, right? And with the strategies I'm going to teach you later, you don't need to be first. Now, later on, you can, when you get really good and experienced in spotting good coins, then you can put this tab back on, okay? But for you as a complete beginner, stay away from this tab. So we're going to switch it off. And to switch it off, what you need to do is you just come over to display here, and then you're going to go to extras, and then you're just going to click on new pairs. Okay. Now look at that. Look at it. It's already looking clean, right? We can get rid of this. We don't need that. And already you can see it's looking a bit clean, but we're not there yet. We can do so much better. Now we're going to set up some filters, all right? We're going to set up some filters in the final stretch because this final stretch, this is where we're going to be finding coins. The migrated tab is a different strategy that I'll probably teach you guys some other time. But for this meme coin fast track training, this is where all the money is going to be made. Sometimes we will go over here, but I want you guys to stick to the final stretch tab. Okay, that's where the money is made. Now we want to set some filters. Okay, so just gonna come over here. You see some filters. And what we want to do is get rid of some of these protocols. The protocols is basically where the coins are being launched from. And if you didn't know, Pump Fund, Pump, they're the ones that started this whole thing. Okay, they created the whole protocol of being able to just launch coins, right, for free, literally, and just allow anyone without dev experience, without having like a development experience, to be able to launch coins and without needing money for liquidity. Okay, with the way their protocol works, you can just come, anyone can just go and launch a coin for free. This is what created this, what we have now, the financial market, this new financial market that I spoke about. So they are the ones who created it. So we want to have it on. Okay, we want to have Pump on. Pump and this little one, you want it on, you want to switch off, make sure it's grayed out, Mayhem. Bags, you want to leave it on. Bonk, you want to leave it on. Bonkers, you switch off, and switch everything off, everything else. Switch it all off. We don't need them. Switch it all off. Okay. And then we can leave this to below. Okay. So bags, we need bags and we need bonk. Bonk and bags, they show you that competition is a good thing. Okay. Because Pump, when they created this protocol that you're able to launch coins, they're making so much money and they became really lazy. Even till now, I think they're a bit lazy. They never have any improvements unless they start seeing competition. It's because of Bags and Bonk competing with them, giving them a run for their money. That's what keeps them in check. But they're still the number one. I really like Bonk and Bags, the teams behind them, because they force Pump to, you know, try to improve their infrastructure, to make changes to improve, right? That is the example, perfect example of why we need competition. Now you should have Pump, Bags, Bonk. So the next thing you want to do is go into audit. Under audit, we want to go to holders, pro traders here. Just put 5. The pro traders are basically users, real users who use some type of trading terminal to trade, like Axiom. Okay, so that's pro traders, and we just want to see 5 at least. So just like real people holding a coin. And for the max, for the age, for the max, we're just gonna put 10. This one depends on the time. Okay, if there's a lot of volume, me personally, how I like to trade, if there's a lot of volume, I don't want to see too many coins at once. So this can change. It's a preference thing. Okay, so for now, we're just gonna put 10, but just remember that this can change. Okay. Next, we go into metrics and we want to go to global fees. So global fees is how much this deployers pay for the transactions. Now, if you see a low global fee, it means it's something dodgy going on. The devs or the creators behind it are not paying the fees because they're looking for ways to avoid paying max fees because they know they're going to scam you, right? So we want to have 0.1 there just to fish out some dodgy ones. And for market cap minimum here, we're going to have 3,000. Now, this one as well depends on the price of Solana, okay, and the bonding curve. Right now, the bonding curve is only 35K, but like a month or 2 months ago, this used to be about 60K when Solana price was about $200 or so. So it really depends. Right now, coins are spawning at like $1,000, $1.5 thousand, $2,000. So you want to just put it at 3,000. Okay, if it becomes too much, we can even make it 4,000. But for now, we're going to leave it at 3,000. Okay, let's leave it at 3,000 for today's price, price of Solana. And then for socials, here you just want to click on at least one social. We want to see at least one social so that we can go and view and find out what the coin is all about. Okay, and then we're just going to click apply. And immediately now, all the coins here, these are pretty much organic coins. As you can see, it's like reduced so much, right? Look at that. Look at it. It's looking nice and clean already. Now, the next thing we're going to do is come over to the migrated tab as well. And we're just going to check out what's going on here as well. We're going to click on the protocols. To make it easier, just click on select all and then on select also, it's on select everything. Then we're just going to turn on pump and this little guy right next to pump. We're going to turn on bags and also going to turn on bonk. Then for audit, for this one, the age doesn't really matter, but what we want is also pro traders doesn't really matter with the migrated. What we want is over here now in the metrics. So we want to set a market cap for 40,000. Okay, why 40,000? Because we want to see the coins that after they migrated are still kind of alive, right? So you can see that the migration here is 35K. That is the bonding curve. So we're just going to put it at 40,000. And then for the global fees, we want to put at least 4. That way it's going to remove anything that is dodgy, right? All the scammy coins that haven't paid enough fees, okay? So, and then for the socials, we're going to do the same thing and just click at least 1. For this market cap here, it changes as well, right? If the price of Solana goes up tomorrow, then the migration price will go up and then we can change that. Okay, we can also change that. And that's it, guys. And then we're just going to click apply. Now, as you can see now, these are really good coins that grew organically, like real people were trading them. Okay, I just know I can tell it looks clean. So we have now filtered out most of the rubbish coins, and the ones we can see here are usually really good coins that are running organically, are growing organically. Okay, now because we filtered them out doesn't mean we can just buy any coin. We still need to do some checks, okay, because these devs, they're really clever and they still find ways to try and take your money away from you. Okay, so right now I'm going to show you how to check, what to look for in the coins before you make any kind of purchase. Okay, there are about 6 checks that we need to do, and I'm going to show you all of that right now. So the first type of check I like to do is the total holders to pro traders ratio. So what does this mean? It's basically the total holders, all people holding the coin, and the pro traders. Okay, the pro traders are people that are using some type of trading terminal, such as Axiom and Padre. Um, so you want to see kind of like a 2-to-1, right? Like this is fine, this is fine, this is fine. But you see this one over here, it's like 57 holders and only 14 pro traders. That means the rest of it is some, bots. So this type of coin I will already avoid. I wouldn't even bother clicking into it, right? If we go into it, you will see that the chart will look all funny. Okay, chart looks funny. Um, yeah, chart looks funny, and yeah, we just know that this is scammy. There's no one trading this right now. This is a complete scam. If we look at the bubbles map as well, the bubble maps, you can see one cluster. One cluster pretty much holds everything, a 14% cluster there. Okay, so we already know instantly that this is a scam and we should avoid it. So that first check, just to repeat again, is the pro traders to holders ratio should be about 2 to 1. Okay, and when you see a coin like that, you just want to avoid it. You don't even want to bother looking into it. You just want to just hide it. If you hover over it, the top here, you see you can hide the token. So we're just going to click hide token and it'll be gone from our screen. Okay, so that's the first check. Now, the second type of check you should do is the top 10 holder distribution. Okay, some people call it holder distribution. You want to check and make sure that nobody is holding more than 4%. If anyone is holding more than 4%, you just move on. Or if it's a really good coin, you just wait for that greedy person to sell and then you can buy. So let me show you an example of what that looks like. You see this coin here? See this one here? We can tell that this is a dodgy coin. First of all, the chart looks really funny. But the way to easily see the holders distribution is if you come down here, right? If you go to, when you click in the coin, then you come to holders here, down the holders tab. If you come over here, this is where you will see the holders distribution. And you can see here, the first wallet here is holding 11% of the supply. So that's way too much. Anything more than 4% is too much. This wallet is holding 11%. This other one here is holding 10%. This is no good, okay? You want to see it at 4%, 4% max. So let me show you a good one, right? Let me show you a good one. This looks good. And you can see here, this is how a good coin should look like, right? You can see that the top holder here is holding 3%, not 4%. This is going to make people buy and you'll see the chart moving really freely, okay? So that's the second thing you should check. Check the top 10 holder distribution and make sure no one is holding more than 4%. Next thing you want to check is the top holders. What are their SOL balances? Are they holding a good amount of Solana in their wallets or are they holding really low balances? For example, if we take a look at this coin here, you can see that if we go to holders once again, and then just come over to SOL balance, right? So this is the balance, how much they have in their Solana, in their wallets to trade. When you start seeing zeros, right? Look at this one. The top holders have 0. This person has 0, 0, right? 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. They all have zeros. That should tell you that this is a scam and you should stay away from it. So this is the check. You want to do this check every time you look into a coin. Before you buy it, make sure you check. You want to see it looking natural, okay? Because if people are buying a coin organically, then the coin will have, the balances will be different. You see, like this one is different. This person here has 6, 10, 3, 12, right? It's not all zeros, okay? So that's the next check. You want to check and make sure that the SOL balance in the top holders' wallets look natural and not all zeros. They don't have low SOL balances, okay? That is the next check. Now, the next check, which is the fourth check, is the funding source and time of the top wallets. So let me show you what that looks like. So if we come into just one token here and you click on the holders tab down here, you want to go look at the funding, right? Now, what you're looking for, you want to quickly check that the wallets have not been funded around the same time. You see all the top wallets here? Like this one now, we can tell this is a complete scam. Okay, as you can see, the wallets here have been funded by the same wallet. You can see it tells you which wallet has funded this wallet, right? You can see the funding source for all these wallets. They all are the same. Also, you can see the time, right? 1 day ago, 1 day ago, 1 day ago, 1 day ago. That means only one person is controlling the supply of this coin. So for coins like this, you want to stay away from it. You want to stay away. When you see something like this, you run away from it. Okay. So that is the fourth check, which is the funding source and time. You don't want it to be the same. You want it to be, different, right? Like this one, for instance, you see it's all different. 15 minutes, 29, 29, 32. This is probably a cluster, right? You see, at least it's different. It's all different. It's not the same. That is the fourth type of check you need to do. Make sure that the funding source and time are all different. It looks organic. If it's all the same, then it's controlled by one person. Okay, the next check I like to do is I like to see if the top holders have very similar amounts. For instance, we can see this same token here. You can see that the top holders, they all have very similar amounts. So that means they all bought at the same time with the same amount of money, which is odd. It's not organic. Okay, so when you see something like that, you want to stay away from it. All right, so you can see these top wallets here, literally the top 10, they all have very similar amounts, right? You can see this person here has 0.5%, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. It shouldn't be like this. An organic coin will have top holders with different amounts. So let's take one, for instance, like this one here. It looks organic to me. Yes, we can see people buying it. And if you look at the top holders holdings, you will see that they're all different. This person here has 3%, 3%, 2%, 2%, and so on. They don't all have very equal amounts. Okay, so this is what it should look like, and not like this one over here where they all have very, very similar amounts. You see something like this, you stay away from it. Okay, so check number 6, and the last check I like to do before buying any coin is the bubble map cluster. So all these trading terminals, they allow you to create multiple wallets. So even us as traders, we can have multiple wallets and trade with multiple wallets, which is fine. Okay. Now to see that, you want to use the bubble maps. Okay. So to get to the bubble maps, if you click on a coin, just from the pulse, we go into a coin. And what you want to do is you come down to the holders and then come down to this little icon here. And if you click on it, it's going to show you the bubble maps. So as you can see now, even though it looks like, well, there are some people with 4% here. But even though there are some people with 4% here, there are some people holding more than 4% because you can see these are some interconnected wallets. If you click on it, you will see just how much this person is holding, this cluster is holding. So this cluster here, if I can click it, if I click on list here, you can see that there's a 6% cluster. There's another 4% cluster there. Okay, so we want to I mean, 6% cluster, 4% cluster, they're kind of okay. It's when you start seeing something like this one over here, the same one here. This is a good example. When you look at this cluster here, right, you can see this cluster, we look at just how much, see, this is a 33% cluster. So you want to stay away from something like this, okay? I mean, like this other ones here that we saw earlier, this one, they're small clusters, right? This is it was 6%. So personally, if it's a really good coin, I would wait for this person to sell some of their supply before buying. Okay. But yeah, this is fine, right? You're always going to see that because a lot of traders now, they're all using multiple wallets and not just one wallet. Okay. So if we look at this one as well, let's look at this and see the cluster here. You can see, yeah, this is our little clusters, which are fine. Is when you see a really big one, like the one I showed you, then you stay away from it. Okay, so this is the sixth check I like to do before buying a coin. Make sure that there's not one cluster that owns most of the supply. So there's just one final check. So 7 checks in total. One final check I like to do before I buy a coin. Okay, and that is to check if all the top holders are fresh wallets. So what does that mean? So if you have where all the top holders are fresh wallets, it means somebody just created a bunch of new wallets just to try to scam you, okay, to run a coin and try and scam you. And how can you tell they are fresh wallets? You will see this little green emoji right next to the wallet. So this wallet here is a brand new wallet, meaning it's fresh. You can see it says fresh wallet. This one here is fresh wallet. This one here is fresh wallet. This one here is fresh wallet. So for this one, for instance, this one, I wouldn't worry too much because it's just 4 wallets that are fresh. But if you see everything fresh, right? If you see like maybe the top 10 or top 15 all have that green emoji, meaning they're all fresh wallets, then you want to stay away from the coin. All right, this brings us to the end of today's lesson. So just a quick recap. In today's lesson, I showed you guys how to filter out all the dog shit coins, right? So that we can have only organic coins. I also told you that we will be spending most of our time in this pulse tab here on the final stretch tab. So it needs to look nice and clean, okay? I also showed you guys how to what to look for, what to check before buying coins, how to identify scams. And the reason I did this before showing you the good coins is I don't want you guys to lose any money. The meme coin fast track training is all about making money, making $100 a day and not losing money. That is why I had to show you guys how to identify scammy coins so that you can avoid them. Okay, now I also have some notes, okay, for you guys here. I'm gonna brush this up, make it look good. And I'm also gonna have some homework in there, some exercises that you can do because I want you guys to take action. I don't just want you to watch my videos and not do anything. I want you guys to take action. So I'm gonna have some homework for you, okay? And this is just notes of some of the things we found, right? The things you need to check for. I'll have that for you in the description of this video, okay? So that you can download a copy and you can use that for yourself. So thank you guys for watching. If you've got any questions, make sure you leave them in the comments. I'm gonna answer every single question that I get. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can see when I put out the next video. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.